looking down on them.
So we don't talk down to people. We explain things. We don't have people here that after sales made, there's nobody here acting like that. And we just don't have that sort of environment here. So I feel like the ownership here is better capable of helping, and then with all the management here and the staff. And as far as all that combined goes, because there's a lot of other departments besides writing. Writing was just like our Achilles heel for a long time because there's so much people in that department.
Well, it's a huge part of what goes into every site.
It is.
There's a huge amount of the labor goes into that, so it remains the largest single department.
It does, yes, but we have design, we have Google development work, we have people doing software, we have other stuff. So to pull all those different components together, we ended up developing some proprietary software, which is unique in the industry, and the reason it's so important to someone that's going to become a client is because we're able to manage all these processes better. Right. Hey there, guys. It's Nolan and Jason here.
Howdy.
We're going to talk about our operation today and what makes us better, basically, right?
Yeah, this unlike our normally informative things, this is going to be a completely gratuitous marketing push.
But this is really helpful for people to really understand it. So I think the title's Our
We're just
Operation.
not always this blatant.
Our Operation Digital Marketing Excellence. That's the official title. So, back years ago when we did this stuff, we just didn't have all the tools in place that we have now.
Right.
And a lot of them are proprietary.
Yeah, we built most of our own tools because we didn't like the ones anybody else
Before we get on to
gave us.
our fantastic internal software and all that, let's talk about just how we manage the staff here.
Right.
Because back in the day, we would, I'll give you some examples of what used to happen and what I know happens with almost all other digital marketing agencies. And I'll say this, the problem with it is there is a sweet spot.
Right.
Because if you have 1,000 people, there's no way in hell you can manage all of them. I don't care if you have the best software and processes in the world, it turns out being garbage. Name somebody who does work that has over 1,000 people.
In our category?
In our category. Well,
nobody really
in
goes
digital
that
marketing
big.
at all.
Yeah. People. You have large scale operations. I won't name any of them.
Yeah, we don't want to.
But most of those are automated.
Right.
It's DIY marketing. Download the template, build your own website. And obviously the results you get isn't going to be great.
So if you're too small, I guess, then you don't have resources. Even if you had the greatest guy or girl in the world, or 2 or 3 of them, they just simply don't have enough resources between a few people to turnkey everything that you need to have done. Would you agree with that?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
We couldn't run this company with 2 people.
Right.
We
got almost 20. So
we don't give a job to 2 people for onboarding, right? It goes around to different departments with different resource sets per person.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So it's really, there's a fine line for a business owner to find the right size company and then somebody who's managed well. The problem is once most of them begin to grow, they manage it inefficiently and you still end up with trash work, even if they do have 7 or 8 people, 10 people, 15 people, because it's been mismanaged.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's particularly rife in marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
Because people like me, creative people, for years push this idea that you have to give us all this breathing room and space to be creative, and you got to let us wear jeans and t-shirts.
That's nice.
And crap like that.
Yeah.
It's all BS. I could wear a suit every day and do just as good work. It doesn't hamper my ability.
I could too, Jason. But I don't want to.
But what I'm saying is this kind of went further and further, and I literally know of a place down the road,
ping pong tables,
where they have ping pong tables,
yeah.
And no lie, they have a beer keg in the break room.
Yeah.
And you can go have a beer any time of day. Now that sounds great and all.
That doesn't help productivity.
But it doesn't exactly help productivity. And I've had people come through that I interviewed, and they were asking me about perks and culture, and that's the kind of thing they were talking about. Yeah. I'm like, no, this is a place of business.
I was thinking
it's not a party. So it's not a clubhouse.
We had somebody that quit or mutually quit, probably. Like we're on the way to not having them here anymore.
Yeah.
And she had made a comment that I thought this was going to be fun here because you guys are.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You guys are wearing jeans and it looked casual, and then it was hard.
And then I had to come in here and work.
I had to work.
That's a freaking quote, by the way. That's not
Yeah.
me exaggerating.
No.
She said that.
It was worse than that, actually,
Yeah.
because I can't throw in the millennial attitude well enough. I can't.
I don't want to trash on millennials.
No,
but yeah,
it's not.
she was.
Anyway,
So,
but it's all right.
But yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of places set up that a lot of businesses have, unfortunately, a lot of businesses in our industry have set up to appease that attitude.
Okay, so that attitude and prevalence is more desired in somebody wanting the job, basically.
Yeah,
right?
in any creative endeavor.
So they like to be that way.
Yeah.
They'd enjoy that. It would be nice if people could come in and eat grapes and press enter on the client's credit card once a month and then game.
Well, yeah, if you can tell me where I can work that's like that, I'll go. I mean, goodbye, I'll quit.
You remember this happened. You remember then the .com bust and when they had pictures of people playing ping pong and sleeping in sleeping pods and stuff.
Yeah, I worked at places like
Yeah.
that in the late 90s where it was just like, it was this huge, you did about an hour or two of work and this huge party, and then you sent the client a bill for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And you didn't give them anything.
And it all pretty much closed up and crumbled up.
You know.
And there is, and by the way, we have tons of great millennial people here.
We do. I did.
Most of it.
We got almost 20 people
It
like
just
that.
sounds
and
funnier
I
to say that.
I sift through a lot of crap to find them.
Yeah.
But I get the best people I can.
So the staff here is kind of one of the first topics that I had, though. But just to understand the evolution of the company, because we've been doing this about 10 years. So we'd hire people that were writers. And I remember Jason was there, and I'd scratch my head, and I'm like, well, first of all, somebody comes up to me with a attitude, and I said, why the hell can't they write properly? They're an English major. They have a degree in English. They went to school, and we hired them. And this girl came up, and you know who it is.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And she said, well, are they a writer? And I'm like, they are an English major, but are they a writer? And I'm like, I don't know. Jesus, do we have to check that sort of stuff? I was like, they're a reasonably intelligent American that speaks this language, that was born here with a stinking English degree from a college. And she's like, yeah, but they're not a writer. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, well, and then we started getting these people in the writing, and let me give some more information. They would basically screw us rotten. So they would come in.
We did have some worms in the apple.
The apple had rotted at one point, and the whole department.
You know that scene in Doctor Strange when he's taking the apple back and forth through time and it goes all moldy, and that was that apple.
Yeah, we had to basically eradicate the whole department at one point.
Yeah, we actually turned the entire department over.
My kids still love one of the stories from that because Jason would leave and never got peace when he left for a day off.
Yeah.
Because something would go wrong. And then
I couldn't take a day off.
It's because it was on the edge already.
Yeah, I was trying to fix it.
And when he left, the mice would play more, and then I, who am usually quiet, would just go in and blow my top. and there was this one really annoying individual. Yes. I'm not even gonna.
I know who you're talking about again.
Give the gender here, but really annoying individual. And I had come back from lunch late, like I usually do, because I leave for lunch late. Typically, I like to get some work in. I'm leaving for lunch late today, and I had come in and it was already but I had come in a little earlier. It was like 1:20, so we go to lunch from 12 to 1.
Yeah.
And so it was like 1:15 or 1:20, and there was all this laughter from the writing department. And I go in there and I look in and immediately this individual gave me this look like, oh,
the boss is here, like it's a big joke.
And they're all gathered around her. Eating.
Well, there goes the thing of not telling them the gender.
Oh, sorry. Well, that could go either way nowadays. Anyway, I'm using it, interchanging. Him, her, them, it, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're gathered around, and I think eating pie, and I'm like, oh, man, because
it's like you're on the clock now. Lunch is over.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes after they're eating pie. And I'm not saying that that's never happening where people talk and stuff, but this particular individual
was highly disruptive in a regular
this particular
basis.
situation.
This was sort of a straw that broke the camel's back.
My kids still talk about it because I told them the story, and they're like, "What happened to the person who ate the pie?" And I'm like, I don't know what happened to them.
That individual has actually applied to work here 2 more times in the past year.
Evidently moving through the positions.
Yeah, I have no idea why they keep applying here when they were let go before, but they have done so.
So after all that happened and we ended up hiring writers and vetting out content and all that, then we started, then I was like, well, why can't we manage these people? And the same girl came up to me and said, well, you need an editor? And she kind of said it like that, like millennial / valley girl type, you know? and like, which was like extra insulting.
But she was right.
But she was right, so we hired an editor. And
actually, we made her the editor.
We made her the editor, and that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, but so we began to do these things, and then we'd have writers that were managed with an editor, and then writing would still turn out bad. We're like, whoa, what? You know, what's going on? And we're like, well, we got to watch them tighter. We added desktop monitoring software. We added cameras all around the office. We added check-ins every 15, 20 minutes of how the workflow was going. And then we API'd into copyscape.com and checked their content to make sure that the content wasn't
was not copy pasted.
By the time that happened, we were getting, and this is just one department, guys. This is like there's all sorts of other stuff going on, right?
Right.
But this is, and now we have this great group of people. And I guess what would end up happening too, we would have a great writer or two in there, but it was hard not for them not to disrespect the environment when people are spitting on the floor all around them that weren't being caught.
Right, it was obviously not professionally run.
Yeah, so how can the whole group get managed? And we'd have a more professional group, but one guy that was in there that used to be in a very professional position at a newspaper had written horrific content and like blown up the code on stuff. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, we had a gentleman, I use the term loosely,
yeah,
who had formerly been a journalist working at newspapers.
Right.
And he was angry about the fact that
he was doing that.
were dying and that he was
Right.
having to work this kind of job because he believed he had a higher calling. I sympathize, but to the degree at which I am legally required. And he was deliberately sabotaging, it seemed like, content.
We had that guy. We had another girl who was working for other companies,
Doing freelance work on our
freelancing
time.
on our computer. So this
and in case anybody watching this thinks desktop monitoring software cameras, oh my God, these guys are Big Brother.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do it.
You fought me on it for a while.
A year.
That was over a year.
And I
Jason.
finally said, okay, fine, whatever, and it helped.
As soon as we did it, we caught this stuff and fixed it, and we made some good sites in between this time in content and department. But once we began to manage it, then people that worked here had more respect for the company and themselves and what they did. And then when we went to the length of, so instead of someone quitting and then their last 2 or 3 weeks, like basically there's crapping all over like 2 or 3 of the client sites that they did.
Right.
It was really difficult to go in because we make such large websites for someone to, even the editor, to go in and find all of it. We start checking against Copyscape. And now I'm happy to say that, I mean, darn near everything that comes out of here is just superb, you know?
Right.
It gets watched like crazy.
We started with those measures to get rid of actual malicious people or just lazy people.
And we find those people like
and then
quick.
We moved on to productivity and quality and everything else. And we haven't, those issues are long past behind us. I'm actually very proud of the team we've built back there.
Yeah, so the next thing, if you moved into, and I want to go past just the writers here in just a second, but you move to people like Jason, who's a unique individual who not only is a creative type, but also a managerial type, which is very difficult to find.
Right.
So somebody that can manage.
Most people who do what I do don't want to be involved in administration.
Right.
We just want to make cool stuff.
Right. Most of the people here are introverted people that don't like to speak out in a crowd or have or manage people, or much less have to terminate somebody.
Right.
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 Not that Jason.
I love it.
Not that he enjoys terminating.
We actually had some people here at one time who thought that I actually enjoyed it.
No, I used to have people tell me that all the time.
It's like that. It's like
I'd have
if
a
I
heart
know that
attack
I've got to
trying to
let
find
somebody go, that is like my whole like couple of days leading up.
It's stressful.
If I know in
Yeah.
advance, if it's not like a sudden thing. It's like incredibly stressful.
I think
It's
there's
why I
some
don't have
people
any hair.
who like it, though. There must be.
There's probably somebody somewhere.
Trump did it, isn't that what he did?
He liked it.
Boom. You're fired or whatever, But yeah, I don't think it bothers everybody, but it bothers the type of people that are here, even if we're more managerial.
Right.
Even, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't more introverted and stuff. It just analytical and introverted. It just kind of all fits together. And for me personally, I'm a guy that owned a business before that was in home security that got screwed by web companies.
Yeah.
A web company. Well, I didn't like the whole industry, frankly. They treated me like I was stupid and had I call it web geek cocky. I mean, it's never going to get to go anywhere, but we need to do it. Have we done a podcast on web geek cocky?
I think we did one a long time ago. We should probably do an updated version.
An updated web geek cocky. So these guys and girls that treat you like you're some sort of idiot, like they just created life with the website, like they're
Right.
like a doctor complex of delivering babies or saving people's lives. You're like, that was me, You don't know how to do this stuff. Yeah, I made this life. And so you get treated like these web geek cocky people who, it just made me so mad. That's
I used to be one of those people.
Did you?
Oh, God, yeah.
It takes
Back in the 90s? Hell yes.
Too bad.
Excuse me, you don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
You're old.
Well, most people, so let's be honest, most people don't know anything about it.
Right.
But that sure shit doesn't mean that they're dumb, nor should they be treated poorly for giving you money to do the work.
Exactly.
What is that? Oh, there's
Somebody out in the hallway.
a music training place here. Whatever.
It's just they just do guitar now. It used to be music
Man,
in
that
general.
guitar
but
is some of the sweetest stuff they got. They do rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
They do rock and roll in
Sounds
there
cool
all day. But it's summer, so kids are running up and down
kids
the hallway.
out there, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's I forget where we were on it as far as the web geek cocky and stuff, and the industry treating the business person poorly.
Yeah, looking down on them.
So we
that whole
don't
attitude.
talk down to people. We explain things. We don't have people here that after sales made, there's nobody here acting like that. And we just don't have that sort of environment here. So I feel like the ownership here is better capable of helping, and then with all the management here and the staff. And as far as all that combined goes, because there's a lot of other departments besides writing, writing was just like our Achilles heel for a long time because
Right.
there's so much people in that department.
Well, it's a huge part of what goes into every site.
It is.
There's a
Yeah.
huge amount of the labor goes into that, so it remains the largest single department.
It does, yes, but we have design, we have Google development work, we have people doing software, we have other stuff. So to pull all those different components together, we ended up developing some proprietary software, which is unique in the industry. And the reason it's so important to someone that's going to become a client is because we're able to manage all these processes better, right? I think we have over 200 things that we check off and manage just on our software, which are items that Google grades on you guys, right?
Right.
And then it helps with custom design and custom code base. It helps upload those files. It helps shave off time from other stuff so we can spend more time on other items that are important.
It takes care of a lot of those rote tasks. It manages
Yeah.
sites. It manages site launches. It manages
Ticketing.
all the processes, ticketing, project management for initial production, manages the crew to a lesser extent.
So, go
and
ahead.
just like everything, and it's also our client database. It's sort of CRM, project management,
Right.
human resource management, all one thing, and that's why we built it. Is nobody had anything else.
So if you have a digital marketing agency, I'm telling you that it's from like 0 clients to like 150 or 200 clients even. They have nothing to do this with.
Right.
They literally maybe have hodgepodged together project management software, but it works very poorly because we've tried it before, right?
Yeah.
And so they have no way to really say, hey, do this regularly to the site. Or here's a new ticket, take care of this, make sure, and then follow up on it. and then make a record of it and save it and make sure it doesn't disappear out of the system and stuff like that.
Or if they have something like that that does work well, it doesn't work with anything else.
Right.
So it's this standalone thing.
It wasn't
You gotta-
really meant to manage a digital marketing agency.
Yeah, you got to manage 8 different. At one end, you have to manage 8 different pieces of software that then go out and do this stuff.
Right.
It's a headache all by itself.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. The clients that go on here never know that that's there.
Right.
But without it, and without all the other stuff that we've done to put in place, we would have had to have gone through all those experiences that we went through probably anyway. Even if software had been available, we don't need that. We'll just hire people and throw them all in a bullpen.
Yeah.
And
It was all a learning experience.
Yeah. But so yeah, all those items together really help us churn out a better product. Helps the client get optimized better. Helps the relationship. Helps the design process. Helps the writers, for example, do a lot of things that normal writers don't do because they're aided by proprietary software.
Right.
So the reason we're able to have like schema wrapped content, for example.
Yeah. They're able to on the fly add schema to their content based on some of the software we've built.
Otherwise, that wouldn't be happening, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you got some really smart person and you could train them, and they were a talented writer, and then you could train them on schema. But when you meet that unicorn, let me know.
We have smart writers. I don't bag on the writers. But
Well, I'm not bagging on anybody. It's just like I wouldn't have a programmer doing my writing.
you wouldn't
and I
want
have
a writer.
doing my
Yeah, you
programming.
wouldn't want a writer doing that.
I
even
don't have
if-
my doctor
okay.
fix my car. It's
Right.
just a matter of what you're good at and what you know.
I wouldn't have a problem with the doctor fixing the car. I just don't want the mechanic working doing the surgery. That's right.
Well,
I don't care if the doctor fixes the car.
I don't know what a doctor can do to the car. It's not his expertise. That's the point. Point missing you.
All right. But yeah, we nowadays all the writers and by the way, all the writers that we have now are fantastic.
Right.
We just did go. It wasn't always the individual's fault because people like to have a structured, managed system, and they don't go to work somewhere in order to say, "Hey, I'm going to fully self-manage myself and just dream up what you're asking for and do it perfectly."
Right.
Because it's really it's not fair to ask somebody that.
Right.
Say,
They need to know what's expected.
what's
of them and all
expected,
that.
what are the procedures, what's next, how's it supposed to be done, and when that's not managed properly, you can't expect a human being to come into the table and do that. It's really an impossible task you've given them.
Right.
That didn't mean some of those bastards didn't have to screw the hell out of us, Jason.
Now that we've been nice to them for a moment, screw them.
Right. My God, I mean, some of the people did us so dirty; it was unbelievable.
We had
managing.
one. The
Yeah.
first one after you hired me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We had someone who had, whenever they were asked, why haven't you gotten this done today? They told you guys, well, the computer you have me on is so old and so slow, I can't get anything done. So the other partner, John, took that computer home that night. It was a laptop to check it. And he boots it up and looks at it. And there's this person's Skype is on this screen where they're literally talking to their friends on Skype saying, I come in here and do nothing 8 hours a day and these idiots pay me.
That's great. That's great.
And I come in the next morning and Nolan is there early. And
What,
and he's
like I don't
he's
show
like,
up to work?
vibrate. No, you don't show up early. And he's like vibrating and he's like so angry. And I'm like, what's going on?
And John
man?
got angry, and he never.
Oh
gets
yeah,
angry.
and John
was
tells me
angry.
what happened, and I'm like, holy crap, man! And then that person actually called in that day. They didn't know this was happening. They had no way of knowing.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even know that the computer had been taken home.
Okay,
and
I don't
looked at.
remember who it was. I'm glad.
I remember the name
I
and
let my
everything.
synapses finally like dissolve these connections, you know. So
But yeah, that was
Sorry.
like that was like, and they called in that day, and John just fired them over the phone. 'Cause if he'd given the phone to you, you were gonna cuss him out.
I
Anyways,
don't. I don't do well in high stress situations. I do tend to break. That's why I don't. I just and like something like clicks in
Yeah,
my head.
you were like stalking around, just like.
That was years ago, wasn't it?
That was 5 years
That was
ago.
5 years ago. I don't act like that anymore. I have other people act like that for me.
Yeah, he has me do it.
He does it much better than me. Much better. It's shockingly better than me.
Just do it with
People
more
still
style.
like you afterwards.
Yeah.
They don't like me afterwards.
I had to fire someone about 6 months ago, and then they give me a positive write-up on LinkedIn as an excellent manager.
That's awesome. Seriously, that happened?
Yep.
Wow. Didn't happen with me. Yeah. All
I got
right.
the gift.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't know. Something traumatic in my childhood, I guess. I'm not sure.
No, I wanted to make the point on the software that what I think the software lets us do more than anything else
Yeah.
is we're not a tiny operation. We're not two guys in a garage. We have about 20 people, but we're not it's not a big operation either. Still a small firm. We have 240 something, just shy of 250 clients, current live accounts, and we are able to treat them with this very personalized, managed service as if we are a 3-person operation with 10 clients.
Except the professionalism and the structure and the resources that comes with all this.
And I just meant more the personal
Yeah.
attention to every detail.
Right.
The structure we built with both management and then the software backing that up allows us to provide that.
We just simply
And it's real, not the fake. Like if you get one of the big,
well, yeah,
the big,
they have
turn and
software
burn marketing companies,
and they have people.
They have a very cheery person on the phone, but that person cannot do anything for you.
Yeah.
Their job is to calm you down so you don't ask for anything.
Right.
And we don't do that.
Yeah, those are template-based websites that never get worked on, poor quality stuff all the way around. The structure of everything they created is in place with software, and the person on the phone is good. They couldn't possibly do the level of work that we do.
Yeah, the actual service
They
is
actually
crap.
cannot and won't.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
I mean, their business model is to not provide it.
to not do
That's
that.
literally what they're
Yeah,
doing.
if they can calm that person down for 6 more months, they've got them for 6 more months.
Exactly.
And then they move on. But yeah, it does provide us an ability to. We just simply wouldn't have gotten bigger without it. We were using software that was crashing at around 60 clients, right?
Yeah.
And it was not able to do all this other stuff, and we just flat out wouldn't have been able to do it.
Right.
So software got created how long ago? About 4 years ago.
We did the first kind of
not what we're doing
clown
now
shoes version of it in 2015.
Yeah.
And it has been redeveloped and added on into an absolutely awesome beast.
It's getting
every
changed
year.
to where it's
we're actually
it's
doing,
not the same code or the same resemblance of what it is.
Yeah,
but
we're
what
redeveloping
it was
right now into version, I guess, 3.
Yeah, you can't appreciate how great it is, but yeah, it's software that's just
Shout out
fantastic.
to Robert, who does most of the development.
Yep, Robert has been fantastic. Michigan mountain boy.
Yeah.
And
Well, as he likes to call himself,
accidental PHP developer. Right?
Yeah. What does he call himself? Redneck web geek.
Redneck web geek.
Redneck
Yeah.
web geek.
Maybe. It's a stretch. More 90% web geek, 10% redneck. Would you give me
Well,
that?
no, but he calls himself that.
Yeah, he does.
He did a wood burning thing on a piece of wood and hung it up
I
over
know.
his desk.
I know.
It's just about the most redneck thing you can do in this office.
It's whatever vision he has going up there. It's like- he's great though. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me see if I got anything else. Nope. I went over all of it. So I hope you all appreciate all the things and all the torture and torment that we've been through, and then all the procedures and software and people that we have up here to help give you guys great service. Hope to hear from you. Give us a call someday.
Take it easy.